everybody, my name is Mars, you can call me MG if you would like, and today I have for you a cute little tag. This is the Ranger's Apprentice tag, which I honestly didn't know existed. I kind of just searched those words on YouTube randomly and was surprised to find that it actually exists. So I'm like, I have to do this, and I will link the original creator down below for you to check out because that's also a really good video. And if you couldn't tell, all of the questions are going to be about Ranger's Apprentice, which is a book series that I love so much. I've been reading these books since I was in middle school, and it's got a very special place in my heart. And this year, I actually spent the entire year rereading the series, one book a month, and I have finally finished it. I'm not sure if it's the video coming out before this one or after, but one of those videos is going to be a whole wrap-up and my thoughts on the series and how rereading it this year went, but this is just a tag with some questions giving my opinions about specific things in the book, so let's just get into it. The first question is, who's your favorite character? And honestly, this was harder than I thought it was going to be because I love all of the characters. Like, they're so well done and just so good, but I think the number one spot has to go to Crowley. It's just something about him is just so good. He is the head of the Ranger Corps, so he's not in the series a ton, but he shows up a few times and he's just a really fun character. Question 2 is, which is your favorite book in the series? And for that, I'm going to go with The Burning Bridge, which is book 2, and I'm holding up the paperback version this time. Usually when I talk about Ranger's Apprentice in videos, I hold up the hardcovers, which are my childhood copies, but my boyfriend has recently given me all of the paperback copies that he had growing up, and so now I have a new version to hold up for you guys. But yeah, I love this book so much. It's where we finally get into things, because the first book does have a whole story, but it's also a lot of setup for the world. This is where we really see the main character Will facing some huge challenges, and it just sets up so much of the rest of the series. The second, close second for my favorite book would be Sorcerer of the North, but I think I like this one just a little bit more. The third question is, if you lived in the world of Ranger's Apprentice, what job would you have? And obviously I want to say Ranger, but like, we all know that wouldn't happen. I'd probably be like some person working at an inn, just no name character, but like, we all want to be Rangers. The next question is, what is your favorite quote from the series? And I actually have it written down, so this is my reading journal, and I do a little journal spread about all the books that I read, and I also set up a quote page, not that you can see it, quote page for each month so that if I come across a quote that I really like, I can write it down. And this is from The Siege of Mackinac, and it says, "Sometimes life threw up problems that even the wisest, most trusted mentor couldn't solve for you. It was part of the pain of growing up, and having to stand by and watch was part of the pain of being a mentor." And like, reading that, it came at the end of a chapter where Halt, Will's mentor, had to like send him off to go do something on his own, and it's just so heartbreaking and so sweet, and it was so good. It almost made me cry. The fifth question is, which character you most like? And honestly, I probably would say George, which is just a really funny answer because he's a minor character. He's only in a little bit of the first book and a little bit of the 10th book, and we don't see him ever in the rest of the books. We don't even hear about him, and like, that's kind of funny that that's the character I identify with most when we barely know anything about him, but I don't know, man, I'm just very much like George. The next question is, if you could marry any of the characters, who would it be? And my first thought to answer this was Halt, but I honestly, thinking about it, don't think he and I would get along super well, so my final answer with this would be Will, the main character, because I think he is a nice young man who would make a lovely husband, and I know that marriage and family is something that he would like to have, so it's not like I would be dragging him into a marriage, and you know what? He deserves to be happy. And the last question, we all know that horses are super important to the Ranger Corps and play a big role in the Ranger's Apprentice series, so the question is, what would you name your horse? And I spent days trying to figure out the answer to this question, but I have decided that my horse would be named Fiddlesticks, which is actually a character from League of Legends, which I don't play. I actually don't really like League of Legends. I think it's kind of a boring game, at least watching it. I've never tried to play it because I don't really have an interest, but my boyfriend really likes it. And there's one character that he doesn't really like, but I love, who is named Fiddlesticks. And Fiddlesticks is kind of an eldritch abomination, and I think it's just a really cool character, and I'm like, honestly, that'd make a really good name for a pet, so my horse would be named Fiddlesticks. And that's the end of the tag. If you've enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a big thumbs up. You can subscribe to my channel for more content, and that way I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye, everyone.